Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews and welcome aboard Mark Zeigler Yacht Sales' latest listing. This time we're checking out a 2006 Selene 53. She's up for sale in Jacksonville, Florida for $765,000 and she's had only 2 owners since new. Length overall, you're looking at 59 feet 10 inches in length, beam of 16 feet 8 and a maximum draft of 5 feet 9 inches. She's got a displacement of 96,000 pounds. And she is capable of doing a great loop, because as I'll show you once we get up to the flybridge, but that radar arch and all the canopy covers, that easily folds down. I love that this one's got the painted hull, and I also really like the woodwork finish that's on here. It really just gives it that excellent touch of elegance and class. As I step on board, there's easy access on both the port and starboard side. There's a ton of space here in the aft cockpit, most of which is undercover because of that extended flybridge. You can easily put seats out here to relax and enjoy yourself. You can use the back for a spot of fishing. It's got all sorts of setup available for you. You can even use this for swimming and diving. There's an extended bathing platform on the back. And along the transom, you can see we've got a hot and cold water shower. That way you can rinse off whenever you come back on board. Easy access to that bathing platform because there is a door on the transom as well. And I like the fact that all the ropes and cleats are out of the way so that way you're not going to step on it or trip on it. There's even cleats on the bathing platform itself. That way you can tie the sports tender to it, which is up on the flybridge, which we'll show you in just a few minutes. And the aft cockpit also offers a tremendous amount of storage space in the lazarette. It's a very clean and very dry lazarette. Whenever you come down here, not only do you have storage, but you get easy access to your steering gear. There's also a water maker down here that makes approximately 40 gallons per hour. And throughout the entire yacht, you're going to see most of the doors have got that louver effect. That way you get fresh air circulating and you don't have to worry about that mold and dampness smell you sometimes get on boats. I also like the fact that most of them also have that push button lock mechanism. This is a boat that's designed for seagoing use, and that way you're not have to worry about anything opening while the boat's underway. And speaking of when it's underway, look at how wide the decks are for making your way up to the bow. This is going to be really beneficial, especially if you've got young family or even pets on board. It always feels safe and secure. You can see this one's got rod holders mounted up on here as well, but more importantly, you've got engine controls and bow and stern thrusters to both port and starboard. So you get easy access to the lower helm, but you can always come out here, and this is going to be really beneficial for close quarter manoeuvring and also going through the lock gates if you are looking at doing the great loop. Making your way to the bow, this one actually reminded me of being on the Fleming. I like the fact that it's got 2 anchors and 2 windlasses on here, one of which has actually got a windstrom, which again is going to be beneficial for lock gates. You've also got that Samson post, you got a deck wash system up here, easy access to the anchor locker. It's just a really good setup for all-round cruising. And then as I pan the camera around, you see that this one's got that timeless design. But it's got a very seaworthy design to it. Comfortable seating at the front, storage underneath the seats. And then again, as I make my way through, you can see you can close this off, but you've also got solid handholds in place with more storage underneath too. Storage is always a premium in a boat, especially when you want to do liveaboard use or extended cruising, but that is not going to be a problem for this one at all. And as I make my way around, again, you can see we've got those engine controls, bow and stern thruster controls, with that long, clear deck. And once in the aft cockpit, as you make your way in, I just love the woodwork finish that was in here. This yacht's currently in undercover storage, but you can still see just how much natural light you get from all those large windows. Most of the windows you see are able to open, so that way you get extra fresh air in here. You can split the aft deck door, and that way it can either be open and whole, or you can do the 50-50 split. TV mounted into starboard, you've got the seats over here, but you've also got a clever cockpit table, where that way we can fold it out, and you can easily seat 6 adults in comfort. You can also drop this, and you can turn it into a double berth. And as I was mentioning about storage, there's even a space down underneath the saloon, or just look how much you can store down here for all your dry goods. But this one's even got refrigerated storage available in this large freezer compartment. Everything you could possibly imagine has been included in this one. And at this angle you can also get a close-up of that deck. There's a lot of space up here as we make our way forward for navigation. There's another clever spot next to the helm which I'll show you in just a second. This is opposite the galley. The galley has got everything you could possibly need for preparing all your favourite meals on board. You got your full height fridge freezer, plenty of countertop space, got all those drawers and lockers, you get a trash compactor, double stainless steel sink. That's got that shower head faucet that retracts, more storage for dry goods, 4-burner gas stove, you got the oven underneath, and I've got a convection microwave oven overhead as well. When you open the fridge freezer, you see that this thing looks like it's brand new, super clean, and it's just ready to go. And as for fresh water, I've got 400 gallons in 2 tanks. There's 1,300 gallons of fuel and 80-gallon holding tank. There's even more storage up overhead. And again, I've all got that push button lock mechanism. There's easy access down to the engine room from the galley, but there's an even better way of getting to it from the actual owner's stateroom down below, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. And then as I make my way towards the pilot house, this is where you really get impressive views. It's got such a commanding central location. I love the woodwork finish that you have. I love the headroom that you have. I'm 6'2" and I've got no issue anywhere on the yacht. But it just feels like a very safe and steady location to be. You do have that easy access to both port and starboard. You've also got an opening hatch overhead. You've got both white and red lights, so you can do your night vision on here as well. And then in terms of electronics itself, we have got a wide range here. We're looking at the VHF with the standard horizon. You get your engine instrumentation, you get fusion stereo controls, you get bound stern thruster. You've got a 20-inch Navionics LCD display. You've also got your autopilot. You have got the Furuno NavNet. This is the Map NT. This is 72-mile radar, Chatplotter and Fish Finder combined. You got your stabilizer controls, and then this one's got 6 CCTV cameras throughout the yacht. And then up overhead, you've got your safety panel with all your bilge and tank details. You get your Yanmar, because this has got a wing engine on it. And then you've got your main engine details. And your traditional clock and barometer. And there's a closer view of that hatch overhead. You can close this blind across, and that way it's a solid blind if you want the darkness. But it's also got the mesh blind on the other side, so that way you can open the hatch, get that fresh air, and not have to worry about bugs coming in. And behind the helm, there's a nice seating area here. It's a good spot to have close family and friends with you while you're cruising. Storage underneath for the paper charts, your traditional paperwork. You can use them at this cockpit table, but there's another spot I'll show you in just a second. And then there's a watch berth, which has got a clever design, because if I pull this end out, this actually converts to be a full length watch berth. So if you want to be close to it for passage making, or if you want to do anchor watch or something like that, that's a really neat setup that they have on board for this one. And everywhere you look, there's always really good woodwork, but there's also really good handholds in place. And this has got a clever design here as well, because this is going to expand out and is an excellent area for doing all your charts and paperwork. And there's infill tiles, which I'll show you in just a second, so you've got a smooth flat surface. But that way you can do all your coursework right next to the helm. And there's those tiles that I just mentioned. But before I make it all the way down to show you the lower accommodation, I also want to point out that right on this stairway, we've got easy access to the washer and dryer that's on board. And that way everybody's going to have fresh, clean clothes, clean towels, fresh linens, things like that. You're not going to be in any hurry back to shore when you buy this one. And again, lever effect, push button mechanism, and easy stairs to get up and down on, making it ideal for all your guests on board. Start with the guest cabin on the bow. There's a tremendous amount of storage in here. I like those portholes. They just give it that nautical effect, especially with the woodwork combined. But you got a large overhead hatch as well, similar to the helm. You get the blinds on there that you can close off, and also a mesh one as well. But plenty of storage for them to be on board for long periods of time with you. Even storage underneath the bed, and being an island bed, it's easy to access from either side. And then we've got the guest heads accommodation, separate toilet and shower. Shower's also got that little bench seating area in there if you prefer. Good amount of storage in here for toiletries and personal belongings. And good headroom for using the shower too. This one shouldn't be an issue for anyone at all. And then opposite we've got a twin guest cabin. This has got a kind of bunk bed effect to it. It's got a really good layout for a smaller cabin. Opening portholes. You get light and ventilation in. Good amount of storage space. There's also a little stool that slides out, so you can use this as a desk or a vanity station, whichever you prefer. And if I close the door, you'll see that this one's got pretty much full height storage, hanging locker space, and storage overhead. I like the fact that you've got those illuminated lights all throughout down the lower accommodation. And then we get to the owner's stateroom. And this one's basically slap bang in the middle of the boat, so you're not going to have the same pitch and roll effect that you would have in a lot of boats of this size. Island berth, easily accessible. You've got a large flat screen TV mounted up on the bulkhead. And I'm not going to open them all, but you can see all the different lockers and storage drawers and compartments that we have. This one's fully en suite, being that it is the owner's stateroom. So you get the toilet and you've got the sink here. Again, there's storage for toiletries and personal belongings. Then if I close the door over, you'll see that you've got the shower behind. And another little bench in there. And plenty of room in here to enjoy that shower. Not only do we have the lockers and drawers on either side, but there's also storage underneath the bed itself. Look how thick the mattress is on that bed. It's an extremely comfortable bed to sit on. And then to starboard, we've also got an area here which has got the vanity station. But if I was lucky enough to have this, you'd see me throw a laptop up here as well and turn it into a little desk. And most of the cabinets in here have got that illumination effect whenever you open it. And then as I mentioned, this one's got easy walk-in engine room access. But before going in there, I can show you there's more storage behind here as well. And this one's even got a safe built into it, so that way you can keep your passport, important paperwork, things like that, safe and secure, especially when nobody's going to be on the board. And in the engine room, you're going to find that this one's got a 450 horsepower Cummins turbo diesel engine. It's only got around 118 hours on the clock since a full rebuild. And since that rebuild, most of those hours have been taken up with the fact that this one's cruised all the way from Mexico to Jacksonville in the month of February. She'll cruise at around 8 knots, wide open throttle, you're looking probably around 11, 12, something like that. She does have a 54 horsepower Yanmar wing engine, and it's got approximately 35 hours on the clock. There's a 12 kilowatt generator, there's 50,000 BTU of air conditioning, and we also have Naiad stabilizers. There's a tremendous amount of light in here, so if you are wanting to do any servicing, it is easy enough to do so. You can walk around these engines. You can walk around the generators, things like that. Good amount of headroom in here. But you do have that access panel at the galley to open up as well. And you can also remove some of the compartments overhead too. You can also see here you get easy access to gauges on the engine from down here. Engine oil, fuel, water separators, things like that. And then I'll take you up to the flybridge. And I really like how easily accessible the flybridge is, because if this was my yacht, this is where I'd be doing most of the cruising on board. And that way your friends and family can come up here and join you. Again, first off, notice how much space you have to walk around, but there's also handholds everywhere. So you're always going to feel safe and secure. You do have a deck crane up here, and that's used to launch a 2006 Carib 12-foot 6 inches rib. That's a rigid inflatable boat with a side console and wheel steering. And then notice that radar arch. As I said before, this one is on hinges. But we then also have the helm position up here, pretty much centrally located, good visibility all around. Really nice seating area with a cockpit table. There's storage underneath the seats. But again, it just means that your close friends and family can be nearby while you're cruising. And speaking of cruising, this one's got more than just what you need for close quarter manoeuvring. This one's got your full navigation equipment, as well as all your obvious engine controls. Bow and stern thruster controls, rudder angle indicator, compass, things along those lines. And I like the fact that this one's got such a large bimini canopy cover. That way you get shade and protection. But you can drop all of this down, and that way you've got all the bridge clearance you need, so that the greater look remains an option for those that look to enjoy and live out that dream. And then as you're cruising up here, especially if you're going to be in warmer climates, this one's got a full outdoor grilling station. It's got a little sink out here, storage underneath, even got refrigeration, and the grill right there. I'd like to thank Mark for the opportunity to come on board, check this one out, and share the video with you. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, it really does make a difference. And I'll look forward to catch you on the next one. Thanks everyone.